to the first Commercial Heifer meeting of the year. We are happy to see new faces showing interest in this project, as well as returning faces. We hope that this meeting will be beneficial to all in attendance tonight. To begin, we would like to start by introducing ourselves. I'm Taylor Adams, and this is my teaching partner, Allison Drabek. We each grew up around commercial cattle and are happy to spread our knowledge with our students. We also have some committee members in attendance tonight, so if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask for their help.
The first thing we would like to discuss is who can participate in the project. The Commercial Heifer Show is open to any student who is a member of the DeWitt FFA chapter or anyone who is a member of the local 4-H clubs. Students must be in good academic standing for the show, otherwise they will not be permitted to show their pen and a substitute exhibitor will not be allowed. So, no pass, no play. The student must also show ownership of the heifers, and they must be fed and cared for by each prospective exhibitor. If you do not have the heifers on your property, we will need to have a statement submitted in writing of the location of the heifers so we are aware of where they are and where they're kept.
You may be wondering why a student would be interested in raising a commercial heifer. While it seems like this project is high risk, it is a larger financial investment when compared to other projects, not to mention the amount of time that is spent with it. I can assure you that the payoffs are worth every dollar you spend and every second your child spends out there. This project allows junior exhibitors the opportunities to raise, show, and sell a pen of commercial heifers at the DeWitt County Fair. The opportunities that this project supplies are endless. From the very beginning, your exhibitor is going to be able to submerge themselves into the beef cattle industry. Who wouldn't want to do that? They will learn how to pick out quality stock, how to feed and care for the heifers in a safe and practical manner, and finally, how to put all of their hard work into the end product. The Commercial Heifer Project may be a safer option compared to breeding beef heifers, especially since you don't have to halter breed them. This would be a great introductory project into the cattle industry as it focuses on educating the youth exhibitors and giving them a solid foundation to build upon.
The student must have ownership of the commercial heifers no later than September 30th, 2019. All heifers must be validated at the county office that same day from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. A breeder agreement showing transfer of ownership or sale of the heifers to the exhibitor is required along with an entry fee. Heifers must be bred to calve between October 1st and December 1st, 2020. Therefore, all heifers have to be bred by February 15th, 2020 to meet these calving deadlines. The heifers must be at least 20 months and no older than 30 months on the opening day of the county fair, which is March 1st, 2020. Heifers must also weigh a minimum of 1,000 pounds on weigh-in day by the weighmaster. Heifers will be pregnancy tested on weigh-in day, March 1st, 2020, by the fair veterinarian. Heifers not bred or under the weight minimum at the time of show will be disqualified. The buyer's sale is after the completion of judging the cattle as well as the student record books. Therefore, the sale will be held at the show barn on March 2nd, 2020, starting at 7 p.m.
So where do you buy your commercial heifers? The most common type of heifers purchased for this project would be some type of crossbred female. This, however, does not mean that you cannot buy purebred cattle. Most crossbred cattle are cheaper than purebreds as they are not registered. When purchasing your calves, remember that at the show, they will not be classified according to their breed, so having registered papers is not required. The heifers may be purchased from any breeder in Texas. When selecting the heifers, it is important to select calves that are close in age range as well as appearance. If you selected a red heifer with a white face, you would want to select another heifer that is very similar. Uniformity is important when putting together a pen of commercial heifers. If your family has commercial cattle that you would like to use for this project, you are more than welcome to do so. If you are unsure of a good commercial heifer breeder, get with myself, Ms. Drabek, or any of the committee members, and we can give you some different options to look into. When purchasing these heifers, keep in mind that the age range that you must be within. Heifers cannot be born before September 1st, 2017, and no later than July 1st, 2018. Heifers should not be older than 30 months or younger than 20 months. After purchasing your heifers, you will be required to fill out a breeder verification form and turn it in at heifer validation.
When purchasing your commercial heifers, it is a good idea to purchase an additional heifer in case of an emergency. It is possible that one of your two heifers may not be bred on time, or that one becomes ill and does not gain weight like needed. Having a backup heifer will allow the student to still exhibit a full pen of 2 at the fair. In the case that an exhibitor does not have an alternate heifer, they will just show the one heifer in the pen, and they will only be able to sell that one heifer. If the alternate heifer is used, the exhibitor may sell it as a part of the pair. However, they cannot sell more than 2 heifers in the pen at sale. The alternate heifer must go through the same process as the main 2 heifers. The substitute heifer must still be in the student's name by December 31st, 2019 to be shown at the fair.
Once you have picked out your heifers, the next step is to be sure you have adequate facilities to raise them properly. It is suggested to keep them in a pen that has some type of protection for them to get out of the weather. It is important that the pen has a gate with a good latch and that it is locked every time you go in and out so that your heifers do not follow you out of the pen. In the pen, the heifer should have constant access to clean, drinkable water. Using a water trough with a float can be handy, but make sure that the float is attached securely so that the cattle cannot knock it off and it flood out the pen. This would leave a nasty mess that neither you or I or your heifer would enjoy. If using a big water trough with a float, be sure to clean it out at least once a week. The biggest reason for cattle to not drink their water is because it is dirty. You will also need feed troughs for your cattle. These can be permanent in the pen or they can be removable. Regardless, you're going to need to keep these clean as well so that no bacteria is able to grow and make your cattle sick. Feeding your heifers once a day is recommended. However, if you would like to feed them twice a day to get more interaction time, that is fine. If you do choose to feed twice a day, then make sure you are feeding them smaller proportions. If you overfeed your heifer, she will become fat and that will lead to problems with getting her bred on time, which could then run into problems at fair. You should be visiting and interacting with your project every day. This will allow them to calm down and begin trusting you. We want our calves to be calm so that when you enter the pen to feed and take care of them, they are not of harm to you or to anyone around you. Heifers that pose a threat to the exhibitor, as well as anybody in the public, will be disqualified from the show due to safety purposes. Another very important thing is footwear. It is a must that you wear the proper footwear, specifically closed-toed shoes that protect your feet should you get stepped on.
Safety is our top priority. Therefore, we encourage the student to spend time with their heifers to familiarize themselves and increase calm temperament of the heifers. Since these heifers are not halter trained, the heifers are free in their pen, so sticking arms and legs in a pen will put yourself and others in danger. It is important that anyone around your pen of heifers knows this and that they abide by it. So make sure your siblings and all family members understand this. We always want to practice safety when dealing with these animals. Your heifers need to also feel safe in their pen to be comfortable. In order to know if your heifer is comfortable or not, the exhibitor must be around the heifer daily to get to know their personalities, their discomforts, and their comfort zone. If you are not around your projects on a daily basis, this will be hard to gauge. We want to be sure that our heifers are in a safe area where nothing can harm them. When picking out the pens for our heifers, we want to keep in mind their surroundings, like are there aggressive dogs around that may run our cattle and stress them out? Will our pen give them protection and shelter from the elements? Think about the way that we approach our cattle and the way that we act around them. These animals can easily sense if we are nervous or stressed, and they will in turn act the same way. Always remember to remain calm and collected around your cattle, and they too will be calm and collected around you.
Ready? As we look at this image of heifers in a pen, do you think the heifers in this pen feel safe? Take a moment to notice their mannerisms and how they're positioned in the pen. Notice how they are alert and watching the person that's taking the pictures. These heifers here are not scared, but they are alert and watching every move that the photographer is making. As an exhibitor, you should be aware of how your heifers feel at all times and move according to their comfort zones.
It is mandatory that your heifers be brucellosis vaccinated by the time they reach pen of heifer validation. Most of the time, your heifers will have already been vaccinated by the breeder that you are purchasing the heifers from because they will have received their first round of vaccination shots as early as months of age. If you are unsure if your heifer has been vaccinated, look in their right ear. There should be a little orange clip clipped into their ear. This is a Bangs vaccination tag or clip. If you do not see one, there is a possibility that it is tattooed in their ear. However, your heifer may not feel comfortable with you messing with their ear, so it may be better to call your breeder and ask them for confirmation. This should be something you discuss with your breeder at the time of selection. Having your cattle properly vaccinated is important to protect our cattle industry from outbreaks of diseases.
Heifers will be checked into the DeWitt County Fair on March 1st at 7 a.m. The heifers will be run across the scale individually to ensure they weigh in at the minimum of 1,000 pounds each. If a heifer does not reach minimum weight, scales will be cleared and she will be reweighed. If she still does not meet minimum weight or is not bred, then they will be disqualified from the show. Heifers that are deemed too wild will be asked to be taken home so that they do not pose a danger to the exhibitor or the public. Once again, safety is our biggest concern. The pen of heifer pens will be rather tight together because of the growing numbers in our project, so it is imperative that each exhibitor keep their heifers' pens tidy. Heifers will then be judged the following day. Judges will judge the heifers on body composition, the number of days bred she is, and uniformity of the pen. The exhibitors will also complete a test over the beef cattle industry, and they will also participate in an interview. The record books that the students have submitted will also be scored, and then all of these components will be compiled together to determine placings. The placings will determine who gets to sell in the junior livestock auction. Heifers that do not make the sale will not be allowed to leave until all livestock are released at the end of the show.
Let's talk budget. The prices for this project can vary greatly, but on average, calves will cost around $1,000 to $1,300 each. It depends on the type of cows you purchase and who you purchase the cattle from. It is estimated that you will put roughly $350 worth of feed into your pair of heifers and roughly another $75 to $100 in hay. Heifers will have to be pregnancy checked prior to show, and then it is possible that you will encounter a need for the vet throughout your project. We estimate about another $100 in veterinary bills throughout the project. Depending on other supplies you have or not, will dictate whether you need to spend additional money on other things for your heifers. All in all, the expenses total up to about $2,500 to $3,000 for this commercial heifer project. While this seems like a large initial investment, the supporters of our community and county make sure to support our youth in the sale. Even if an exhibitor does not make sale, they will take their cattle home and sell the calves out of the heifers for profit. And that concludes our meeting. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact Ms. Adams or myself. We hope to see you all at the heifer validation and show. Thank you.